Hey everybody, we're live and we're here for Sunday night, Sunday live. Wait, I almost said Sunday night live. That's how you. So tonight we're going to be talking about thrift stores and would you boycott them because of pricing? And there's a reason why I'm calling this topic. But before we start, Dwayne, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everybody. I'm Dwayne Hale from Mothership Products, and here to speak with Walking Picker about this subject.
And we are going to be doing a drive-by situation. So you want to pop in, let us know. So I'm on Facebook. Not that I want to be, because of the way it runs my computer, but
Look at that. We got Kurt here. We got Brian the Oakbook Picker. We got HB Picker. We have a new guy named Robert Borden, maybe? How are you, Robert? Of course, we've got Henry and Tanya.
And Gandalf.
And Gandalf. I think that's it now so far. People coming in. We got 16 people watching, so very cool. Mr. Sadie's here.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this topic up was I actually deleted a post in DRS that basically was asking the group members to boycott Goodwill. Figure for a day. And there was a whole bunch of stuff and arguments and stuff started. I'm like, okay, ending it. And I did my own little post saying, doing different things because there was people that on another post that were being very rude, calling the workers retards and all this other stuff. So I combined my two thoughts in one big post.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are saying, well, if it's their idea, if they want to boycott, go ahead. My idea is, why would I want to boycott to make a point somewhere else? If my store is doing 99-cent shirts and yours is doing $5.99, how is my boycotting that store going to help you? Because all it's going to do is hurt my business because I'm going to lose however many shirts I would be getting if I was doing shirts or whatever. Somebody else came in and bought them.
Right, sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a touchy subject because, I mean, the only way to change something is to do something active about it. But like you said, it's more regional. I mean, it's not like Goodwill is one huge conglomerate, and if they get hurt here, then it's going to hurt across the country. I completely understand, if you go to a thrift store and the prices are really high, just choosing not to go to that thrift store anymore and, going to another thrift store. I actually have a Savers here locally that I won't go to anymore. All the Savers around me are, let's say they're about $5.99 for, let's say a Ralph Lauren shirt, something that everybody has everywhere. And, they're usually $2.99 to $5.99, we'll say. Well, for some reason, this store is at $9.99 or $11.99 for the same shirt that I can get anywhere else for $5.99. And it's not just that; their whole inventory is much higher. So I just choose not to go to that one anymore. I don't think it's going to hurt them at all, but I know it makes good business sense for me not to go there.
And that's what I was trying to tell that person that originally did the post. Like, somebody else came in and was talking about their individual store. And I said, I'm not talking about your two stores in your area. I'm talking about boycotting everybody as a whole. That's not going to work for boycotting. And he finally realized when I made a point to him, I said, I'm talking about the whole, not just your store.
Sure, right. And Mr. Sadie brings up a great point. There's nothing to boycott because they have every right to charge what they want. Exactly right. But I think instead of calling it a boycott, maybe just banding together as resellers to, I don't think it would work personally. But let's see, hey guys, I'm tuned in all the way from St. Lucia. Smooth 331. How are you? That's a long ways. Look at you. You're international now, buddy.
I've had a couple international before, but glad to have a Caribbean. And I think that's our first Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's what I should have said. Yeah. So what do you guys think in the chat? I mean, is this something that you've had to deal with? Not necessarily, um, high prices, but have you thought, man, I'm just never going to shop here again?
And you may not find things in your area, like, and just say you go into that store, Dwayne, you might not see something that you're normally looking to buy and at a high price, but then you might see something that all of a sudden somebody else said, look for this, and you notice it, and it might be $9.99 instead of the $29.99 or whatever that you're expecting it to be, in something that they're like, or whatever, okay, a reel to reel, for that example.
Sure.
All of a sudden you're like, okay, wait, I know 10, I can get it if I buy it for $10, or if I do the research before I buy it, send him a message, get his intake, and so you might not necessarily spend the same amount as you would if you were able to get the lower price items on shirts that you want or whatever that you usually get, but you should still look for the unexpected low stuff that they do miss.
Sure. Now that's an interesting thought. I've never thought of it that way. What Leisure Picker said there. ADDG. Everything you spend $1 on, you are voting. You are voting for a product, a business, or a neighborhood. Huh. Never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess that is kind of true. I mean, you're endorsing it, if nothing else, for sure.
But, okay, ADG, I'm gonna ask this: would you join, say, 30,000 people or 100 million, a million people said, okay, we're going to boycott Goodwill or Salvation Army because of high prices in this area? Would you do it in your area? Or would you say, good luck with that, I have to source, my prices are fair to me, hope you succeed in what you're trying to do? That's basically what I'm asking. Okay, Mr. C says, example, what do you say when someone says you're too high on your eBay price? I know what I say, laugh out loud.
That mother's mustache thing I'll take care of. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to just tell her something, okay? Sorry about that.
Sure enough, that's the idea. But in the group, there was a person that was trying to rally the troops to do a natural all-out boycott for at least a day on Goodwill. And that's what I was trying to say, that it won't really affect Goodwill in the long run anyway, whether you do it a day or a week. Because and if you do that, you have to figure out where you're going to source your other stuff from, if you don't already have another source. Because you might be in a small town that Goodwill is your only place to go, or a certain thrift store is your only place to go. And as long as they keep raising your prices, are you going to travel out further and spend more money in gas, which means your prices have to go up higher? Or are you going to try to find another way of sourcing through Facebook groups or something like that, where you don't have to travel that far, hopefully?
Sure. I mean, prices are going to fluctuate and go up mostly. Very rarely do they go down. And I mean, your business just has to be fluid enough to either absorb those things and you can transfer that to your customer, that price, in hopes that the end result can go up, or you just have to, like Chris said, find other ways to source. Because I know, like Mike Cole, Kinetic Energy, was having some troubles with this very thought, that the fact that he's having a hard time finding things that are good value in his area now. So he's changed what he's doing now, doing some other things, whether it's yard sales or merch, or he's just doing some other different ways to make money. So I think calling for a boycott, I don't think it's feasible, especially since us as resellers, we're not the only people that shop at Goodwill. I mean, you could have a reseller in the whole country stop going to Goodwill for a week, and they may not even feel the impact, because they have other people going there, right?
Exactly.
We're not a big market.
And all the stores are not there for us. They're there for the community or whatever service they're trying to provide for, say, it's a cat and dog place that they're trying like we went to when you were here.
Yeah, yeah, of course. A lot of them are nonprofit, and they're just selling off things that they get for to help their cause, whatever their nonprofit is. So, like I said, I don't think the reselling community as a whole. There's enough of us to, even if we did boycott, that it would even cause any stress for Goodwill. So.
See, everybody's basically saying what I said to the person in the thread, that if it's too high, just don't shop there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
And that's what somebody took offense to it. It's like, oh, and because they said they were going to go to that store manager and then the next higher up. I'm like, what's the point of wasting time talking to these people when they're following their either regional or corporate people, and they're following their own orders? It's hard to get somebody else to think like you.
Well, sure. Well, and not only that, but just like Mr. Sadie said earlier, I mean, they're there to make money as well. If they can raise the prices and still make their business work, cool. Just like if you were to raise all your prices on eBay and everybody kept buying, cool. You're making more money. Everybody's happy. Nobody's going to boycott you. But if you have to play where the market is best for your situation, and Goodwill has to do the same. If they started charging, retail prices or above retail prices, they're not going to happen. It's not going to happen very well for them. They're going to go out quick. So they have to come back down to where the market is stable for their, section of the marketplace.
If you try to boycott that, there are always going to be people that cross the picket line anyway. That's my point. If it's not going to hurt my business or whatever, I'm not going to sit there and say, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not going to risk losing out on a potential big home run item or my bread and butter, depending on what's in that store.
Right. I mean, seriously, nobody likes when prices go up for, as a source for us sourcing, and it is a bummer, but there's not a lot you can do about it as a single person or as a small group. And in reality, instead of being, 10 times your money, maybe now it's 5 times your money. You buy something for $6 and you sell it for 30, and you used to be able to buy it for 5 and sell it for 30. Well, I mean, in the whole scheme of things, you're still making pretty decent money. You know how that goes. Oh, good. Nathan's mom is better. We talked about his mom last night too. So, and you mind to update people on your wife, that she's at least home, right?
Yeah, she's home. She's a little better. I'm not going to say she's at her greatest, and she won't say it. But the doctor thinks it might have been an ulcer, so he's suggesting she goes to a specialist to find out what's going on, especially with her only having one kidney. We don't want to risk it being more serious than it is.
Sure. So.
And Carla, I want to answer your question. I don't really have a favorite item. I've been trying to find different things to go into a higher bracket type of thing. I've been trying to list things unless I've already had them up for over $10 or more. I used to be at a price under around $5 or higher, and I'm trying to get out of that. So, and I have not been sourcing, and because of the way the weather's been, what's going on with the wife, and what I went through all of July or most of July, I was taking a real big break from it, so I haven't listed anything. I got a new phone. I'm still working on trying to get the pictures working right. So I haven't given up, even though I've thought about it.
Well, that's no good. Got to make money somehow, right?
Well, if the wife does what she's planning on doing, if it works the way she's talking, it would be more for fun than anything.
Well, that's cool too. I mean, if that's what, if you can make it where you don't have to make the money to survive, that probably frees up a lot of stress too, so that you can go out and have a fun time.
Yeah, as you know, when we were here, we told you how often we go out. You saw
Not
how
very often.
when you showed up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, and that's cool. Yeah. How much money do you need to start a thrift store? Wow.
It depends on your area, because I mean, some people I know. We just met a couple the other day that the wife wanted. They put cookbooks up, 40 cookbooks up on a local Facebook auction group, starting at $1. She won it for $5.
Wow.
But they had just started. They've only been in business for a year, and they're kind of like me, well, like a few of us that don't have cars. They have to borrow somebody's car, or they have to get rides every once in a while. Otherwise, when they want to meet somebody, they have to meet them at their store. And they run their store from 8:30, I don't know, 11 to 5. So.
Yeah, Carol said it's very hard to compete with a nonprofit that accepts donations. That's for sure. You know, before I was a reseller, we would go to we have a local thrift. It's called Deseret Industries, which is the LDS church, but it's a thrift store based, you know, for the LDS. The LDS church is nonprofit. So, and I when I was younger, I was like, man, they have it right. Okay, first we donate stuff to them, then we go in and buy that stuff, and then probably, you know, a year or two later, we give it back to them, and we go buy some more stuff. I mean, that's a great business model, right? Because they get it and they sell it to you, and then they get it back, and then they sell it to somebody else and they get it back. I mean, it's a great idea. If it only worked that way every time, right?
So does anybody else want to do a drive-by? I'm sitting here waiting for you.
Yeah, we have. Come on, guys. You guys, somebody's got to come in here, and talk about this. Oh, Heather's here too. So, let's see. I'm looking to see who would come in.
I don't think anybody in there that's out there that would come in right now, except maybe Mike. But I don't know if he's got his laptop or his phone. But so that's why the topic is going to be was would you, as a group, boycott a store? Like I said, I wouldn't. I would understand where certain people wanted to do it, but I would just move on to the yard sales, find another thrift store, because I'll admit, Dwayne, I don't know how many actually thrift stores there are in this town now, because when we were going to that one store, we found about 3 more just in that block.
Wow.
Plus one.
And just like Leisure Picker had said, if they get too high, the prices, they'll boycott themselves. And that's exactly what we were just saying. You know, they can only go so high, and then they'll have to, they'll have to come down if the market is going to switch on them. But I don't think there's enough resellers to make that market change. And like you said, it's regional. You know, if every Goodwill had to price exactly the same, then it may make a difference. But your Goodwills may charge, 99 cents for everything, and like you said earlier, and somebody else's Goodwill $5.99 for the same products. So,
and that's where you got to work on what your margins are, as everybody else likes to talk about. What are you willing to spend, and what you know you can get?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at all the Robert Grahams you buy for $5, knowing you can get at least 20, 30 or more for them.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if it's not working, you just got to find another way. My wife went to a self-help group thing, and that was one of their mantras was, find another way. If it's not working for you, just find another way to do it. And it goes well for a lot of things in life,
Hey, Nathan, we're talking about, would you boycott a thrift store because of their high prices? So if you pop in, that's what the topic's going to be. And I'm glad to hear about your mom, by the way.
Yeah, see, RDI, which is Deseret Industries, sells furniture like it was brand new or antique. It's very true. So, hey, can I say something to Andy real quick?
Sure can.
Andy, Mother's Mustache is trying to get a hold of you. So I gave her your email address. Sorry to do business in the chat there.
Hey, you saw me do it during your shows.
No, yeah, it happens. I mean, sometimes it happens.
I didn't even apologize. Like they had the option. I knew I was trying to get hold of them. Best way to find it was when they're in the chat.
Okay. Okay, good. Glad to hear it. So, well, let's get somebody in here. How do I pop in? So, you want to send the thing to Nathan?
I'll do it. Uh-oh.
Cool.
What was the comment? You're laughing.
You. I'll do it. So, hold on, Nathan. Chris will send you a link. So, we should get Roland Picker in here to talk about it, too.
And if he wants to pop in, that's what this I should have put drive-by edition, but I didn't put it. Oh, I had the title. Nathan, you got the link.
And Andy said he'll come in if you're feeling needy.
Well, okay.
Yeah, nope.
Roland
Picker. Nope, not today.
Well, let's give Nathan some time to come in first, and then. And I'm not needy, Parrot Head. It's just I want to try to get the thought of people without having to read off everybody's thoughts.
Drive by means something different to us Italians. Yeah, well, that's true.
All right, Nathan, and
sorry, I'm trying to turn this down. There we go.
Nathan, I did send you the link, so you should have it.
Very cool.
I know you're messing
So here's a question to people in the chat. Have you consistently seen prices going much higher? I mean, for that one Savers, it was like overnight. I don't know if they got a new pricer that thought he was this, knew everything or something and just started pricing everything higher or what? Do you guys see that happening as well? Or is it kind of a slow creep like you would expect, at thrift stores?
I haven't seen any price change. We went, you went, oh no, actually we did go to the same Goodwill when we went the first time you came, and then when your wife and you came, we didn't get to shop as long. But
right.
You saw basically the prices were just basically almost the same price as when you were here 6 months before.
Yeah, and those prices were very in line with my prices here. I didn't think yours were outrageous or a lot lower or anything. You okay?
Yeah, just choking a little bit on something. I don't know what.
Yeah. So I mean, your prices were very similar to the ones in Utah. So I just didn't know if other people saw a big jump or something. So HB Picker said, "Not me. At my stores, most stuff is lot priced except for hard goods. There are some high prices. I just don't buy that stuff." Yeah, I think that's what everybody kind of goes through, And I do believe it has a lot to do with the people that are pricing. If the person in the back is pricing and they think every dress shirt is worth a whole bunch more than a normal shirt, then it's done that way.
Thank you, Mike. Roland Picker just gave me $5.
Oh wow! Look at you. Very cool, Mr. Michael. Is that so you don't have to be in the drive-in? Drive-by? Drive-in. Drive-by. So why don't you send the link to Andy?
Yes,
it looks like Nathan.
I sent him the link because I was figuring I'd give him some time. He's seen it. So, all right.
Maybe he's getting dressed.
All right, I guess.
So we got 32 people watching now.
Yeah, we were up to 35 in a second.
Oh, were we? I just happened to look over, so.
And let's knock out that 2 dislikes, people. Hit that like button.
Yeah, let's get we're at seven likes. We can do better than that, right?
I mean, we got 30 people. We can at least have half of that.
I would think so.
All right, Andy. Sent you the link too. So whoever.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Like my wife had said there, in our thrift store, the DI or whatever. A lot of times we'll find things that people have made from hand sewn clothing that's and they want resale prices for it or top dollar for it. It's just like, You guys are crazy.
You see what Mike said I did?
Paid for his protection this week. Very cool. Great topic. I know it's frustrating.
I waited wrong. I sent the wrong link to them. I sent them the show link.
Way to go. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Walking Picker's having a rookie moment, guys. You know, you give him a month off and he forgets what he does for a living. So, Leisure Picker wants to know how many thrift stores do you have in your area?
I don't even know how many we have now because of the fact that it was. We have the Ark, we have the New Horizons that they're building, so they're actually moving over to that place. They're moving out of the other place.
Well, there's Andy.
All right, and like Nathan, I did send you the correct link this time.
Chris needs a fireball shot. Andy, buddy, how's the voice?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you sounding all right. What's up with that? And then Nathan at the same time. All right. We get everybody.
I kept on mashing that damn button, and I couldn't figure out how in the hell to get this damn thing to work. And that's what I don't know what you know.
It was my fault, Nathan. I gave you the show link instead of.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll take the blame for it though. For him anyway. So.
Hey, I got a question, Nathan.
Yes.
Why are you wearing a Christmas shirt? It's July.
Every day.
No.
Wait, you've heard of Christmas in July?
Yes.
Yeah, but
hey,
man,
I love it. You know.
You just don't go out of the house very often, do you, Nathan? You don't get out much.
No, I just don't much give a shit what anybody else thinks.
I don't blame
you know.
I don't blame you.
But honestly, hell no, I don't get out of the damn house. No much 197 degrees out there and 400% humidity. No, I got the flow cool machine right over here. I do. But back to the subject of boycotting a store because their prices is too high. Just my opinion. Like I said, everybody's got 10 of them, you know. I think that's ridiculous as hell. That's just my opinion, you know. And if you don't like shopping at Walmart, go some damn where else. If you don't like shopping here, because I guarantee you, if you had 100 people out there protesting in front of every Goodwill, this is what you've actually have done. If you've you've created a scene, and what you've actually done in the long run is give Goodwill more business.
Right, for sure.
If you ain't going in there, that don't mean somebody else ain't. You know, that's kind of like I didn't know who Melissa Etheridge was. Okay, and I don't mean this in a bad way or anything like that, because I love everybody. All right, but these two girls I knew, they asked me this years ago if I'd take them to a Melissa Etheridge concert in Mobile, Alabama, and I said, yes, I will. No problem. And we went over there and went to the concert and found out who she was, and I enjoyed the concert very much. Yes, they are a lot of gay women that go to Melissa Etheridge concert. But let me explain something to you. They ain't all gay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been to see her like 5 or 6 times, and I enjoyed it every time I went.
Very nice.
But I wouldn't boycott no dang body for you. You know, that's just like a garage sale. If you pull up on that garage sale and you think their prices is too high, go to another dang garage sale.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, like you said, all these thrift stores, actually most all of them, have quotas, and they are told what to price stuff at. We have one down here in Pensacola called Waterfront Mission. I was looking up some jeans to make sure that I had them listed or not listed. And I looked them up within 5 miles. They're Ed Hardy jeans. I started to see a whole bunch of Ed Hardy stuff that was in 5 miles. And I checked it out. It's Waterfront Mission. Oh, well, you know. The only thing that I can say about that is if they're making money and they're helping people that need help, I ain't got a damn thing against them. Nothing.
Right. Sure. What about you, Andy? What are you thinking about the subject?
No, I totally agree with, you know, I popped into the show here a little late, but yeah, and when I seen what the topic was, you know, my buddies and I, we even talk about this all the time, because we actually got quite a few thrifts. For me being in a small town, I think we've got like 5 thrift stores in like a real tight area. And yeah, I mean, our Goodwill, that's the big one. And yeah, they get crazy on prices, but does it mean that I'm going to boycott them? No, because guess what? I'm going to go in there and I'm going to find other stuff that they miss. You know, they mismark stuff all the time, and I'm in there pretty regularly anyway. You know what I mean? Where, you know, I find stuff, and a lot of times I'll even take it up when I do find things, I'll take it up to the register, and even the gals are like, oh wow, we missed that. You know, it's like, so you're still going to find those hidden gems in there a lot of times, even on the stuff they miss. And a lot of stuff, even in like my local, we'll just say my local Goodwill, because that's like that's the worst one. The mom and pop shops, I love those because they price so fair. And a lot of times I actually will just give them more money because it's so underpriced. And, you know, like in our mom and pops, most of them either go to like one of the Catholic schools, one goes to a Lutheran church, one goes, you know what I mean? So they all go to really good causes. And yeah, I mean, if they have something that's just so absolutely ridiculously underpriced, I was just, you know, maybe I'll give them $2-3 extra bucks for it or whatever. It's like, just keep it, either give it to the next person that comes in or put it to your organization, whatever. I mean, I'm not out that, you know, that much money, and I still feel like I got a good deal. You know, but at Goodwill, yeah, I mean, my God, they price, like, mine is notorious for like the Columbia and Izod. I swear to God, at my store, they price that stuff like it's nothing to find a Columbia shirt in my store for $9.99. But I can pick a Robert Graham up, you know, for $3.99, or I can pick an Orvis shirt up for $3.99, or a Fastenab, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about those brands, but they.
Uh-oh,
I think he froze.
While he's getting unfrozen, I'll tell you this about the Goodwill too, is they have them shoes over there at that Goodwill. You know, they may say these shoes are $10.99, $12.99, but if you see one that's got something like Allen Edmonds or Brooks Brothers written on it, and it's good shape, that don't mean you got to buy you just got to understand what you can buy and what you can't, what brand. You know?
There you go. Andy's back.
Oh man, yeah, my computer must have froze on me. Sorry about that, guys.
Talking all of a sudden.
I was going to say something, and I was like,
So, yeah, I was going to say very similar to what you said is being that the people in the back do the pricing, they don't know all the brands. And so they're going to miss some, especially clothing. I mean, clothing, there's so many brands, you know, there may be 20 or 30 you look for out of the 500 that there are. And like you said, they may miss Robert Graham's. I have the same problem. For some reason, all of a sudden, everybody thinks Ralph Lauren, you know, way high money. And it's funny because as a reseller, those have kind of fallen off. You know, so for me, I don't make what I used to, so I don't get them anymore. But you go to the stores and they're like, oh, these are awesome, you know, $8, $9, $10. I'm like, you can keep them. I'll go over here and get Robert Graham for $4. You know, that's worth $45 or $50.
Yeah. I typically don't even pick those up until it's like 1, 2, 3 day. You know, I mean, or unless it's a absolutely, you know, I mean, there's always that crazy one. You know what I mean? That you know is like, oh, wait a minute, this one's worth some good money. You know what I mean? I will grab that one. But
it's wild or something that is just different.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if it's super bright colored or it's a big odd size, yeah, I'll grab those all day long. But you know, I mean, the plain Jane stuff, and even just, you know, the simple plaids, you know, what have you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, a lot of times I won't even grab them on half off day because it's just like, you know, I mean, so, but.
Yeah, absolutely. What were you showing there, Nathan? Was that a U.S. Air Force hat?
Yes, it is. I don't buy a lot of caps or anything, but when I was in the thrift store the other day, I saw this one, and it says U.S. Air Force Class 50-E Reno Reunion 2002. Well, I don't know what it's worth. I ain't been able to catch it on research and all that. It's not on eBay, but the thing about it is, the way I look at that, I may be wrong, there wasn't 7 million of them made.
Probably not.
They were made especially for that Air Force reunion from that class. So, you know, is that going to be a long tail when it does get listed? There's a good chance it will, but it may go just like that. You don't know. But I knew that did not, and I'm not downing anybody's football teams or whatever. How many Lakers caps did they make?
And they still make a shit ton.
Yeah, you know. but how many of these did they make?
Probably enough for the people that came to that class reunion.
Yeah, you know, and y'all know where I learned that at.
Yep.
You know, y'all know exactly where I learned that. You know, and I give him a shout out, Chad Pagel, Golden Finger Picker.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I learned from all y'all, but like you back to what I was saying about while John, right? No, yes, John, is that his name? Andy. Okay, I'm sorry. Andy, I'm not real good at names. Hell, most times don't even know my own name, so my mom and dad re-embroidered it on my shoulder, but it's upside down, so it still didn't do me a whole hell of a lot of good, you know. But okay, say the Goodwill. All right, go in that Goodwill. All right, they may not have everything the real price that you want to pay, but like your shoes, your Brooks Brothers, Allen Edmonds, your Cole Haans, most of your shoes are going to be pretty much in the same price range. So you don't buy the ones that say
Faded Glory.
Yeah, Faded Glory or something, Route 66 or, you know,
Right.
Brahma, you know, or that kind of stuff. But another thing you do when you go in there, because they probably don't even think about this too much, is you look on their top shelves, most ones I've seen on the top shelves, you look for snow globes in good condition because they don't know nothing about snow globes. And they'll put $2.99 on this might be a $40 snow globe.
Sure. Yeah, I think it all really comes back to is that even the people that work there don't know everything about everything. So you probably will always find, you know, something.
It's up to us. It's up to us to try to learn and be knowledgeable enough about the fact to know what we can sell for $1 and what we can. The last time I was at Goodwill, I saw these two little canister things, and what they are canisters that go in the refrigerator to filter the water. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they were $3.49 a piece. I grabbed them immediately. I didn't look them up. You know, I had enough sense to know that, hey, this may not. I sold them $39 a piece. You know, you just got to take that chance. You know, I do good there. I don't mind paying $8.99 for a pair of overalls because I get my money back. Well,
sure.
You know, my biggest Goodwill find was over yonder in Chipley, Florida. The brand was Jura, Jura. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but it comes from Switzerland. And if y'all ever see it, Jura, Jura, espresso machines and that kind of stuff, you buy it, okay, if it's reasonable for you. Okay. So I asked him, had $24.99 sticker on it. I said, is that best you can do? He said, no, we've had that for a while. I'll sell it to you for $12.99. I said, do you mind if I see if it works and everything? He said, no problem. We done tested it, but you don't mind right over here, you know. And I went over there, and everything seemed to work fine. And I think it's been about 6 to 8 months, but I think I got almost $300 out of that item. And it was just because Jura, okay? Breville. If I see that word Breville on something, I'm going to pick it up, you know? And do I make mistakes? I don't think there's one of us out here that don't. Hey, Lonnie.
Nathan, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fine, doing fine.
Good, man. Good to see you.
Yes.
Hey, Lonnie.
Hey, Chris, how are you, sir?
All right.
So are you out boycotting Goodwills there, Lonnie?
No, I apologize. I was cutting grass until just like 10 minutes ago, and I came in.
You're fine.
And, turned you guys on. So is that the question of the day?
Well, not necessarily just Goodwill, but just would you boycott any thrift stores based on their high prices? Because some of it, in the Research Society, I don't know if you noticed the post I did.
I saw it.
Somebody was complaining about they wanted to boycott Goodwill, have everybody do it for either a day or a week. And I was telling them that won't work because nobody, just because it's high price in your area doesn't mean my store isn't low enough for my needs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't typically boycott a place because of prices. Although I don't know, I don't go a lot of times to, like, if I go to a certain place and I don't like the prices and I go again and I still don't find anything or it's overpriced, I may choose not to go. I don't really classify it as a boycott. It's not like it's not like I'm holding a sign up or, telling friends not to go or anything like that. But I think you get involved. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just going to say that's kind of what the guy was referring to, is that he wanted everybody to, boycott all Goodwills across the country because of his. Well, and yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Well, you know what, man? Like, if you get involved with stuff like that, boycotts and, making political statements and this and that, ultimately you're going to end up hurting yourself more than you are whatever company that is you're working against, because you're not going to get the stuff you did find there. You're going to cause yourself not to be able to get it. That's dumb. That's stupid.
There's a saying that somebody used to tell me all the time, and I kind of apply to that. So little disclaimer here, you guys might plug your ears, but it's kind of the thing that I used to always get told is don't shit where you eat. You know what I'm saying? And that's you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no reason for me to take and go into that place or boycott it or be a total a-hole in there or whatever. Because I mean, I know I have one reseller friend that he's always a total jerk in there. I'm like, why do you act like that in there? I'm like going, this is where you make some of your money and do stuff. I go, I'm so nice to people in there. All them people know my name, but it's, you know what? They bend over backwards a lot of times for me. They'll take returns a lot of times that they wouldn't normally take. They'll take them extra steps just because I take extra steps to be extra nice to them or, do whatever.
Never hurts.
But, yeah, I mean,
nice. It never hurts to be
right.
nice to anybody.
Yep, exactly.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely true.
And I guarantee you it will take you a whole lot further in life than being an ass to everybody will.
I always got to wonder, though, like a lot of these companies are pretty savvy now, and they're getting a lot more savvy about like social media, right? So whenever I see like boycott this or boycott that, or, don't go here on Tuesdays or whatever, the first thing I think is I'm kind of sometimes a conspiracy theorist about that. Like the first thing I think is some other company, a competitor, is trying to hurt their business by spreading this shit around. That's what I kind of think, right?
Could very well be, like you said, there's a lot of espionage going that way, just discrediting people. I doubt that they really worry about it in a thrift store, but hey, you never know, right?
Yeah, right. I don't think that's what's going on here, but like, let's say Ford and Chevy, right? And, Chevy wants to spread some bad word about Ford. Social media is a great place to do it. They can just get hire 100 people, right? To start spreading it out and it could just, propagate, or what is the word? well, breed from there. You know,
Right.
Make it bigger. That's the word. Make it bigger.
Make it bigger.
Thank you, Nathan, the wordsmith.
I know them big words.
Yes, sir.
So,
I
yeah.
was gonna tell you something, but I don't forget what it was. But yeah, oh yeah. If you got 100 people protesting in front of a Goodwill, you know where the best place for you to be in at that time is in the Goodwill shopping.
Probably true.
Yeah, because everybody out there protesting the prices when they bring out the new carts, you're gonna be the one standing there and get it. Oh well, you know.
Very true. Very
What they
true.
gonna do? Jump on me? I don't think they want to do that, you know. But
Okay, guys, I got to go do my makeup for the next show, so I'm gonna have to sign off.
Do you have enough time?
Yeah.
Y'all take care. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks, Mom.
I'll see you later, Lonnie.
Yeah, so that, like I said, I'm just that comment came on that post. There's been a lot of posts of the pricing problems and stuff like that, and it's like I figured why not address it since somebody else actually brought it up. See how many people would actually say, "Okay, yeah, I would join that boycott." If you notice, I'd say 95% of us said, "Heck no, we're going in the store, have fun."
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody really thought, and I think the person that posted it, if they thought it through, they would realize that it was kind of stupid when they said it. I don't even know who posted it, honestly. But yeah, it just, they didn't think about. Once they thought about it, I'm sure they thought, oh, wow, yeah, that's kind of dumb. So.
Well, I learned another thing watching video, that if it's not working for you, it's not eBay's fault. It's not Goodwill's fault. It's not these other thrift stores. It's not the garage sales fault. It's not the internet's fault. It's your damn fault. And you got to own that and understand what the problem is and do your best to fix it.
Yeah, it's ultimately your business. You have to make those hard decisions. Right. So.
eBay don't tell us, well, you've got to price it like this and you've got to do it like that. You know, they don't want to sell a $20 pair of shoes for $100. You may have them lifted down to 27 years from now. But you know, if you want to sell that $10 pair of shoes for $15 or whatever, 20, that, you know, whatever, make a profit, you might sell it tomorrow.
Right, right.
You know, it ultimately comes down to the person that's doing the business. You know, do I like giving away a lot of my stuff at little bitty prices? And a couple of ways, I hate it to go some of it because some of it's going cheap, but it's bringing me more business. It's out of my way. I'm making a little bit on it, and some stuff more than that. But you don't always hit home runs every day, you know. Hell, I don't even think one of them baseball players, what was his name? Hank Aaron? I don't think he hit one every day, you know. But, you know, but I'm getting the product moved, and Lord, I got lots of product. Oh, my God. You know, I counted up just the ones that I took out of the truck the other day. I think there's 27 stereo systems. But the thing about it is, I got these Cadillacs in my eyes. So I can't do the much on the computer and picture. I can do some pictures, but I don't know what they really look at like when I get finished. But you know, Stacy's a lot of help, But sure, I like having 17 orders go out. Sure, it makes me look better in eBay eyes. I was never, when I first signed up, all right, I had, I think they said 500 listings, okay? I never once called them and asked them for an update on the amount of listings. I never, ever did that. It might have been less than that, but it was a large number to start with. I don't know why they did that, and I don't care, but I appreciate it. And then I didn't bother them no more. And then the next thing you know, I get this email. It says, we have looked at your records and everything, and we're going to send you up to 1,750 listings with 44,000 and something dollars maximum. I thought that was cool. That made me feel good, being like that. Am I got 1,750 listings? No, I sure don't, because it'd be too dang much work. I have to hire me 4 of them or me, and just the way that just can't be doing that. But, my goal is not to get rich. My goal is to make enough money that I can have the girl like Stacy to run this part of me, keep an eye on her, and then get my eyes fixed and me go thrift. Because it damn sure ain't coming to you. You got to go look for it.
For sure. For sure.
So, well, I'll leave y'all alone for a while, but I enjoy talking to y'all fellers. I mean, that really, it helps me out a whole lot, being able to be a part of y'all's community. I just appreciate that very much.
No, we appreciate you coming in and giving your, 45 cents because, you've been around a while. You know some stuff.
I know how to pack an egg.
Hey, whatever. That's good enough.
I made a video a while ago, and I talked a little bit about that, and it said, how'd they say that? Right? Dwayne and Andy and Chris, y'all may know a lot of stuff I don't know. I've got enough sense to know that, and other people, all right, would know more than I know. But then I may know something that you don't know about.
Of course.
Like, I watched one of Chad's videos he made yesterday. He's talking about the FootJoy golf shoes.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. I've made a lot of money in my days on FootJoy golf shoes.
Right.
Yes, because they ain't never over about $8. But there's so many different classes of the FootJoy golf shoe. You got to know what you're looking at. You got to know the cleats. There's a lot to it. But Optiflex, it sell all day $65, $70. The black and white sells better than any of them. Okay, but I learned that. But I watch him. You can learn from anybody. But
of course you can.
But I can sit down there and sit in my room and look at the wall the rest of the night, and I ain't gonna learn a damn thing. I like watching American Pickers and Storage Wars, and do I think the blonde-headed woman in Northern Storage Wars, Northern Exposure is a bitch? Yes, I do. But I don't watch it to see how much they make. I want you to see what they find and how much they get for this find that they find. Because if I watch that, one day, they may be a day that I'm out there and I see it again.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. Well, hey,
yeah,
I think we're gonna have to.
A 6-pack, ain't it?
It's getting close.
Y'all might need to go do that, thing that y'all have to do. I have to do every now and then myself.
We just have to wrap it up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dwayne, whose channel is the...
It's on Tanya's channel tonight.
So everybody, rolls on over to Tanya's channel, 50 Treasures. Watch the 6-pack for what? Another 3-hour show?
God, I hope not, man. Those 3-hour shows are killing me. So I'm hoping it's not that long.
I got a quick question for you, okay, about the auction, okay? Now, you say pick 25 items, and then you show them items and everything, right? Okay. My question is, what if I, over here on my how I want to put it on my stands, you know,
Uh-huh.
put my stuff. I don't know about a mystery box yet because I don't have a lot of that kind of stuff, you know. That somebody don't want shoes in a mystery box, you know. But and put it over there and have the people ask you which one they want to bring up next.
Okay. Yeah, we can. Let's talk offline. We can run it any way we want. That's the great thing about it.
I'm gonna dress for you this time too.
Oh, don't dress up all pretty and tucked out or anything.
Oh hell no! Overalls, a shirt.
You can have a piece of wheat in your gums there.
Yeah, corncob pipe.
Corncob pipe. There you go. Straw hat. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
We love you.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for watching. I know all day Deographer just asked if I could stay on. I'd rather not stay on the same time as their show. So, I mean, if we really got into a certain time, but all the guests have to go. Dwayne he doesn't have to go over there right away, but he's part of a regular there, so I don't want to tie him up too more than I have to. So, and that's part of why I started the show here, so we wouldn't have cutting off in and off and having to do hard stops.
Right. Sure.
So, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you liked what we talked about, definitely hit that like button. Pay attention to Wayne's auction show on Saturdays. I guess he's no longer doing a Wednesday night show.
Yeah, I haven't. The Saturday has been taking up too much time, so.
So anybody that wants to start taking a Wednesday night show, think about Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern.
There you go. Yeah. Open time slot, guys.
And then I want to thank everybody. I don't have a topic yet for next week. I didn't even have this topic until Thursday night. So
it was a good one, though. It was a good one.
And I will see you guys next week.
See ya.